thanks for watching the video. If you could do me and the channel a favor, hop down to the comment section and let me know what decks you guys want me to make next. And while you're down there, if you could drop a like and subscribe, it'd help out a lot. With that being said, enjoy the video and have a great day. Everybody, welcome back. Today we are going over a Darkrai list. This was a requested list, and I'm kind of happy how it came together. I kind of took an existing Loyal 3 deck that I had made, just kind of for fun, and I got to transform it into this Darkrai deck. And also, before we get started here, I just want to say thank you all for 100 subscribers. Absolutely blowing up the channel, and I'm having tons of fun doing this, and yeah, I just appreciate the support that you guys are giving me. So, although we do have a lot of returning viewers that are not subscribed, so if you guys want to just drop down, make sure you hit that red button. It's much appreciated, and thank you guys so much for getting me to this point. Anyway, moving on. So, we do have 2 copies of Darkrai V and 2 copies of Darkrai VStar. This is our primary attacker in the deck. We use the Dark Pulse attack more times than not, or we can use, usually Void Darkness, we can afford it on that first turn, going second, but sometimes we just go Wind of Darkness, or we'll use our Okidogi, which we will get into in a little bit here. Back to Dark Pulse, it deals 30 damage, and then 30 more for each Darkness energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So pretty high damage potential here, and so we're really looking to use things like Dark Patch and Janine to accelerate that energy really quickly and get that number nice and high. Also, Star Abyss is really nice. It is the V-Star power that we're going to be looking to use, and you may put 2 item cards from your discard pile into your hand. More times than not, I have found this either to be Ultra Ball or other Dark Patches to get more energy going. And those seem to be the most 2 common that I have used Star Abyss for. And yeah, that's the main attacker, so very powerful. We do have 2 copies of Squawk in here. Now, this deck, we really want to be able to get set up on our first turn, because if we fall behind, having only 270 HP, it can be kind of sketchy. So we want to make sure we can get set up on our first turn. So we do have 2 copies of Squawkabilly in here just in case we do fall behind. We really want to get that going right away. 1 copy of Fezandipiti, mostly in here for its flip the script, but we can also use Cruel Arrow because, again, it is a dark type, so it's going to be a target of Pecharunt, it's going to be a target of Janine, of Dark Patch, all those nice things. So Fezandipiti's in here as not only a bench sniper, but that flip the script ability, which is so powerful. We do have 1 copy of Radiant Greninja in here. This is so we can A, draw cards, and B, get some dark energy in the discard so we can target it with Dark Patch. 2 copies of Pecharunt EX. This is going to make it so we cannot really get stuck, because Subjugating Chains lets us promote 1 dark type Pokemon from our bench to the active, except Pecharunt EX itself. The new Pokemon is going to be poisoned though. And then Irritated Outburst can be great for late game. For 2 darkness, it deals 60 damage for each prize card your opponent has taken, so it can really get up there in damage later on in the game. We do have 1 copy of Morpeko in here just as a reset. We don't need this very often because Pecharunt allows us to just keep things going, but this is in here as kind of a just-in-case type Pokemon. 1 copy of Okidogi EX. This can be used as our secondary attacker. Poisonous Musculature. You may search your deck for up to 2 Darkness energy cards and attach them to this Pokemon, and then Okidogi becomes poisoned. But we're most of the time going to be using Chain Crazed, which deals, for 2 Darkness and 1 Normal, it deals 130, but if it's poisoned, it deals another 130. So 260 if it's poisoned. So if we, say, use Pecharunt or Janine, then it'll become poisoned, dealing 260, put a Binding Mochi on that, that's 300 damage right there. So a very viable backup attacker in case we can't get enough energy on the board for our Dark Pulse to deal much. It can also be great for our turn 1 attack as well. And then we do have 1 copy of Munkidori in here for its Adria Brain. Moving damage counters is really important, and obviously this deck is full of darkness energy, so we're going to be able to use that as we please. And that's it for Pokemon. So moving on to trainers. We do have 2 copies of Professor's Research. Get stuff in the discard, get fresh hand. 4 copies Dark Patch, of course. Make sure we're getting that energy out of our discard pile and onto our Pokemon. 4 copies of Janine's Secret Art. Choose up to 2 of your dark Pokemon. For each of those Pokemon, search your deck for a basic dark energy and attach it to that Pokemon. Shuffle your deck. If it was attached to your active in this way, it is now poisoned, so great energy acceleration for this deck. And then 3 copies of Iono works as a hand disruption as well. Our A spec of choice is going to be the Precious Trolley to make sure we can get that set up really nice on that turn 1, because we just want to be able to fill our board, hopefully. A lot of the times we actually won't use this. I did a couple of play tests. Unfortunately, I did 5 play tests. Unfortunately, 3 of them Precious Trolley was prized, and we were still able to play some pretty solid games. And but yeah, even with this being our A spec, we don't really need it that much. And then 2 copies of Binding Mochi. So when your Pokemon is poisoned, it deals 40 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So I kind of said that briefly with our Okidogi, just taking it from 260 to 300 is really, really nice. And then it also is just going to help our Darkrai if we use Pecharunt to push it forward. Just a nice little damage booster. 2 copies of Arven, so we can find an item and a tool. The tool would obviously be Binding Mochi, and then the item could be either Precious Trolley or Dark Patch or whatever we need in that moment. 2 copies of Super Rod. This is pretty strong for the recovery for this deck. Originally, I was playing it for Professor's Research, and that's why I had 2 Super Rods in here. But I found that they're actually really nice to have around, because then you don't have to be too cautious about what you use Squawkabilly for, or what you use Professor's Research for, or say you run out of energy later in the game in your deck and you want to be able to use Janine's to get that out. Super Rod's going to be nice to have there. 2 copies of Pal Pad. Again, we do have 2 copies of Boss's Orders, and we want to be able to recycle our Janines. So getting that stuff back is going to be super important, and we don't have to worry about what we Squawk away or Professor's Research away this way, because the recovery is going to be really helpful. And like I just said, 2 copies of Boss's Orders. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. Super powerful card in every deck. 3 copies of Nest Ball. Make sure we're getting that setup going, even if our Precious Trolley is gone, or we don't have an Arven or it in hand. So just another option we have here. And then 3 copies of Ultra Ball. Works for discarding cards like those energy, as well as finding ourselves our Darkrai VStar. 2 copies of Earthen Vessel. Discard a card, search your deck for 2 and basic energy cards. And then we have 4 copies of Pokégear 3.0, sorry, to try and make sure we get that Janine on our turn 1 primarily. There are obviously other targets of this, but that's going to be the main looker. Then we have a big 11 Darkness Energy in here to make sure we can get it going, get an attack off turn 1, and then have a really strong Dark Pulse going through the rest of the game. And that's the deck. That's the 60. So let's hop into the playtests here, and I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so we're hopping into that playtest here for our Darkrai deck. Now, preferably, we are going to go second here, because it is a bit of a turbo. You know, we're trying to get attacking right away. If we can attack with Okidogi right away, that'd be really nice. But unfortunately, it does look like we are going first, which isn't the end of the world. That just means we're going to be able to evolve into our Darkrai right away. Darkrai VStar. Maybe. This isn't a very lively hand. And our opponent is playing grass, which we are weak to, unfortunately. Okidogi's not, but I think everything else in the deck is. At least I know Darkrai is. I believe Pecharunt is. We'll just have to see. Okay, Fez. Interesting. So I think we're just gonna grab that Squawk here then. Go there. Doesn't really matter which one we're going to Squawk. Let's go Squawkabilly. Then I kind of don't want to waste this Dark Patch. So we're gonna stick it on there. Our attachment for turn, we'll let this go. Hopefully our attachment for turn can be... Well, I was going to say hopefully it could be onto a Darkrai, but it looks like we're not even going to see a Darkrai, so... We'll attach to the active, and we'll pass with that. So, very underwhelming turn 1. As you can see, this deck does want to go second, and unfortunately, it looks like we are going to be playing against a control deck. This... maybe? I guess Terapagos could be considered a controlling card because of Crown Opal, but I mean, I have no idea why you would play that instead of Noivern. Scoop up Cyclone and Turbo. Okay. So he's just gonna go for the Turbo Energized then. He hasn't seen Darkrai yet, so he might be thinking that this is just an Okidogi deck. Yeah, it looks like he does plan on using that Crown Opal. Janine's... Oh man. Well, I think we just kind of have to... We'll drop that in there, and then we have to Iono, because we really can't do anything else. Okay. Now, I'm almost wondering, do we want to reveal our Darkrai, or do we just want to grab a Radiant Greninja? I mean, it's kind of... We're just going to grab Radiant Greninja, because we might go for Poisonous Musculature here, which will get us more energy in play. We got 2 energy in discard. Yeah, let's just trolley for Darkrai. Seems a little silly, but that's all we really have right now. Drop that in there. Then yeah, we can Poisonous Musculature. Get some more energy in play for our Darkrai to deal damage. So this next turn we're actually going to be able to be in a pretty good spot. Unfortunately we are moving a little bit slower, but that's just because we had to go first. So, goes for the Crispin. So he's going to get the Crown Opal off, but that's okay because our Darkrai is not... What's he doing here? Our Darkrai VStar is not a basic Pokemon. So our Okidogi, we're going to need to hit around the Cornerstone. We're going to need to get our Munkidori in play if he plays Mimikyu, which I imagine he does, just based off what I've seen, you know, the melodic Cornerstone. Definitely interesting that they're playing the Crown Opal on the Terapagos as a form of control. So yeah, he's just going to go for the 180 smack onto our Okidogi. So a lot of damage on that, but hopefully it doesn't come to bite us in the butt. So, how do we want to do this? Do we just Janine Ultra Ball? Sure, let's go for it. Janine targeting, we'll go those two. Only got 1 energy left in deck, so we can get rid of that Earthen Vessel. Let's get rid of the other Janines, because yeah, there's only the 1 energy left, so. Can evolve it right there. Subjugating Chains into our Darkrai VStar. And then Dark Pulse for knockout. Very nice, very nice. So I saw the grass at first and got kind of nervous, but it looks like it's just in there for that Terapagos. Yeah, I just saw the grass energy and thought it was like a festival lead deck or something. So Cornerstone Ogerpon, again, we can only hit that with our Okidogi, but that's okay because we can just Pectron it forward and Chained Crazed it right away. Now, if they play Counter Catcher, he doesn't have a lot of health left, so they could definitely Counter Catcher and kill, which would definitely be annoying. Then we would have to find ourselves a Super Rod and then get Okidogi back out. It'd be a whole deal. Alright, that's not the case though, so we are in an okay spot. So yeah, we're just kind of able to not let our opponent, yeah, it doesn't deal any damage there. So we can just chains up you. Do we need to Dark Patch this anywhere? No, we don't, but I think I am going to smack it on Fez. Right? Maybe? No, I'm not. No, I don't think so. There's no reason to. We're not going to burn the Pokégear. There's no sense in it, so we'll just smack for knockout there and see if our opponent can respond. Giving me the thumbs up. We do get Iono. Although we probably won't want to do that this late in the game. Only 2 cards left in hand, or in prizes. Let's see if they can even do anything. That might be game right there. So yeah, kind of another purpose of having that Okidogi as a backup attacker is it doesn't have an ability. So, and Melodic is protected from Terra Pokemon, which we do not have in this deck. So, not an issue on that front. My guess is they're just going to go for the Ascension. We do get Iono down to 2. We do have an Arven in hand, though. So, yep, cannot be damaged by Terra Pokemon, which we do not have any of. Oh, we got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. So we don't quite have knockout. Oh wait, yes we do. We can just raise chains. Or chain that one. I was trying to think of how we're getting knockout with Darkrai, but we do not have to. We just have knockout right there with the Okidogi. So we didn't even have to use our Munkidori this game, which is really nice. And I mean, that's the deck. It's an interesting one, I gotta say. But it kind of works. So I hope this fulfills the desires of the individual that did request this Darkrai deck, and I hope it brings you all as much success and fun as it did with me. Now, I did make this kind of more targeted at the Okidogi deck and more, it plays Secret Box, but it just, something about it didn't function very well versus this turbo version, I guess, that we really focus on cutting through the deck and getting there quickly. It just works significantly better for whatever reason. And yeah, so that's the 60. I mean, like I said, I hope you all have as much fun with this as I did, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.